Hello, and welcome to a new episode of Blood Orange. We are so pretentious. We are Caitlin and Christina. We've been friends for 20 years and found the only bit of TV we can agree on is Project Runway.
So we're going to be watching and breaking down our favorite outfits and fashion catastrophes starting from the very beginning. We hope you'll join in and watch along with us. The first season is available on DVD or online, and today we'll be talking about season 1, episode 6, which means we're half finished with season 1. What's the week's theme?
Before we get into it, I wanted to say I was on Only Did It the other day and I missed the most perfect opportunity to plug our podcast because someone did the GIF of the guy who does the blood orange. And someone made a comment says, "Oh, do you think he still hates blood orange?"
We'll find out when we get around to him, but you should have said something.
I know, I should have. I'll find the old post.
Next time they use it.
I've seen it a few times. I'll use it next week. Anyways, so the theme this week is making a splash. They have to make a swimsuit to evening wear, which doesn't make any sense to me. They want them to be daring. A 5-hour deadline for a swimsuit, $75 budget, and 30 minutes to do it. So dumb.
I liked the challenge part because making a swimsuit's probably pretty difficult.
Yeah, I get the swimsuit, but how is it possible to do swimsuit to evening wear?
Many of them failed.
They pretty much all failed. Everyone looked like a swimsuit, basically, except for one person.
Yeah.
But anyways, I have a note. Did you notice when they lined up the models, they had all the same hairstyles as the previous episode?
They always have them just like in ponytails, don't they?
All of them had the hairstyle that they did usually, but this was all from the previous episode. So they
so it must have been, they must have just started over. I looked up because we talked in the last episode about wishing we knew some backstage stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I couldn't find much. There's not any big tell-all, but I did find a list of like random things backstage, and one of them was that it takes 6 to 7 hours to complete judging.
I believe it. I hear on a lot of reality show people say that it takes hours and hours. Like America's Next Top Model supposedly takes like 12 hours during
So they had to sit there and wait 6 to 7 hours to find out not even who won, who lost, and then they had to go right back out and choose a model again.
How nerve-wracking. That's just crazy. Anyways, so here are the models. Karasan won last week, so she got to pick first, and she picked her darling Jenny again. Alexandra picked Aaron. Kevin, Morgan, wild card.
He's gutsy.
Yeah, wild card. I was like, oh damn. Wendy picked Martinique. Austin picked Melissa. Robert, Olga, which I was also surprised about. And Jay picked Julia. Bye, Joy. Oh, I guess we should tell the listeners that the reason that they decided to pick Morgan and Olga was because they needed to make an impression at a party.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Because, after the last episode, you were like, I wonder which of them is going to be out because they're so hard to work with. But Morgan has that party attitude. Yeah,
so I can see why he picked Morgan. That saved her ass. It truly saved her ass for one more week. Next week it has to be. It has to be.
Yeah, she was a mess again this week.
Worse than last week. Okay. So I wrote Tim Gunn saying, "Come gather around," because it made me happy. They had to gather around because they were announced they're going to an Elle magazine party and they're going to meet Richard Johnson and they must get his attention. What a stupid challenge. So
we should mention Richard Johnson writes Page 6, which is apparently a huge deal in New York.
Not really anymore, but yeah.
Okay, in 2004.
Yeah, it was still a big deal. Like, remember, it always was Carrie from Sex and the City would make it sometimes.
No, because I'm just now rewatching it and I haven't seen it probably since 2004.
So I tried to rewatch it, TMI, when I was breastfeeding because it's actually on E at like 2 o'clock in the morning for like hour, like long time. So all the moms out there understand. And I was like, I remember this being so much better. Maybe because it's edited.
I watched like half for 5 or 6 episodes. I don't know how long a season is on HBO Max recently, and I'm like, meh. It's not great.
The only one who's still iconic is Samantha. And also, but I will say when I rewatched it as an adult, I I'm with Miranda more. I used to think she was uptight.
Yeah, I like Miranda. I still love Charlotte.
Yeah, I love Charlotte too.
Notice no one ever says they love Carrie.
There's nothing to like about her.
There isn't.
I mean, I like that she's the glue to their friendship. She brings them all together, and that's kind of cool. But anybody who says Carrie's their favorite, run. They're the toxic friend.
That's true. She's a terrible friend.
Okay.
Okay.
I really didn't make any notes about the party because it was so being awkward.
I made a couple.
Yes.
Mostly the guest judge, Richard Johnson, is leering at baby Melissa after hearing that she's 16, and it is disgusting. He knows she's 16.
His eyes lit up when he found out she was 16.
So gross. Which led me on a search of underage models and why they're used in runway shows. And there was a New York Times article a couple years ago that was all about how problematic it is to be using kids to sell women's clothes, because it's a body type a woman will never get because they're like 13 walking the runway.
Exactly.
But it did have an interesting note. It said in 2013, after lobbying from the CFDA and the Model Alliance, the New York State Legislature passed a law stating all models under 18 must be treated as child performers, with all the related regulations from limited work hours to trust accounts, supervision, checkups, and brands must have a permit from the State Department of Labor. So I'm interested. That was 2013. So we have several seasons, but I'm interested to see if that changes and they stop using little girls on Project Runway.
I kind of think so, but I really, later in the seasons, they don't really pay attention to the models anymore.
I tried to look up the ages on the last season that aired, and I couldn't find any info as to how old they were.
I'm trying to remember, but I kind of don't remember them picking the models every week anymore. Towards later on. Am I wrong?
I don't know. I feel like later on they tended to stick with one model. Like they didn't have to, but the designers tended to stick with one in a lot of the later seasons.
You know what? I remember. I do remember this. Later on, they don't have to pick each model every week. They're assigned a model, but if you were the winner of that last week, you can change your model to anybody.
Okay.
Because I remember being like, because later on, top model, there's a good number of top model people on there. And I remember being like, why don't I know that person? Why aren't they saying their name? But anyways, I didn't really take notes of the party. Some of the designers were basically, especially Robert, were like wanted Olga to basically have sex with him to win. He kept being like, go in there, go in there.
I mean, they all kind of sent the models over to flirt with him, which was also bleh. But it was do whatever you have to get ahead, which is the gross part of that industry.
Truly is. It's so problematic, so gross. Oh god. So at the end of the night, they're all partying, they're having fun, and it's time to
sorry.
This is the part that made me scream. I bet you screamed too at the TV when Kevin let Morgan leave.
What was he thinking?
Not to just go home, be like, oh, I'm just gonna go home. I don't have anything to change in. But I'm going home. To go to the club.
Yeah, so that turned out as you'd expect. The outfit got trashed.
Like, you're nuts. You're nuts. And Kevin's like, it's fine. I trust her.
Why would he trust her?
And then why does she want to wear it? All the other models had something.
She said she didn't have time to go back and change into what the clothes that she had worn to the
other models changed.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think she just wanted to party more. And so she basically just stayed in the club the whole time until everyone else was ready to go.
Probably. Kevin is so soft-spoken that after his outfit gets destroyed, he doesn't even yell at Morgan. He's just like so disappointed. And so she can't handle him being disappointed. So she yells at him after destroying his outfit.
And I think what it was, I think she was fully expecting to be chewed out and yelled at all this stuff. And for someone to be just truly disappointed in her and not like yelling at her, but being like, I can't believe you did this. How did you let this happen? She just flipped out.
She couldn't take it. I love Chase says about her, she was planted by demons into this show, you know, just like the fucking model from hell.
Did you see his face when she was smoking and leaning on him? He's like,
Caitlin's mouthing, oh my God, you guys can't see it.
Oh yeah, I did write that, the model from hell. Now I forgot to know. During the challenge, Melissa and Austin had the exact same hairstyle.
Austin kind of always has that floop.
He did it more. He either made her floop or he made his floop bigger because okay, so I'm straight to the looks.
Yeah, let's go on to looks.
Yeah, this, like I said, this isn't going to be a very long episode. The episode was really bad.
We've already gone on like 5 tangents. It's going to be a normal episode.
That's right. I've said it's so awkward. Just if you're trying to skim through the season, just skip this one. You're fine. Okay, Austin was first. I actually liked his look. I can't see swimming in it, but I liked it.
I loved the fabric it was made out of, especially the base fabric, which he kind of covered up most of it.
Yeah.
And then the styling they did complemented it amazingly. Like the hair and makeup was so good.
I really, really liked that super high hip look.
Yeah.
Because that's very like 50s. And even though her ass was hanging out on it, I still thought it was kind of tasteful to do.
Except for when she was standing in front of Richard Johnson and he was like, maybe I shouldn't be staring at her ass with the camera pointed at me. No, you shouldn't, because she's 16. The camera shouldn't matter. Don't stare at her ass. She's 16.
Really?
What's
next? Kevin's was next. I said I like it. It's fun, but I can't. Oh yeah, the scuba one. I was like, I can't remember
if he had not done the skirt, just lost the skirt and just had like the business suit looking swimsuit, I loved it. I thought it was cute.
I thought it was super cute. I thought it was really cool and interesting. I loved the scuba skirt, but it should have been rip off.
Oh, rather than, because it looked like he just made a dress.
It made it look like it looked like he just made one of those, you know how those one piece shirts that they make where you can button them like a onesie.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
They make them for women.
Like a leotard?
It's like a leotard, but like some business women will wear it, or like some people will wear it because it gives like a seamless look where it doesn't look like you're tucking something in.
I don't know.
It's a thing. It's a real thing. But
it's cute. I mean, the short sleeves on a swimsuit, that's such a rare thing. It's cute.
Yeah. And then the pinstripe.
Loved it.
I liked it. And it kind of went with the challenge. It wanted to be like ready wear, you know.
Yeah, I genuinely liked his. His was my second favorite because I liked Austin's better.
Yeah. Austin, I felt like got the challenge because he went with a theme.
Yeah.
He picked something and it worked. And he was able to sell it. And it makes it work more too. Sometimes something can be on the fence and then they explain it to you. You're like, I get it now. I get it. Okay. Robert is next. All I wrote was ugly.
Yeah, I didn't get his. It was like so loose. Can you imagine a woman trying to like jump into a pool in that swimsuit? she'd lose it immediately.
Yeah, or a nip slip.
Yeah, it was, and then he put his foot in his mouth with the judges. The female judges did not like him.
We'll get to that part. But yeah, that's exact. What judge was that? I wish I wrote her name down.
I didn't either. The look on her face, though. What?
That's the exact same face I made. That's the same face I made when he did it in the first episode. Remember? I wrote it numerous times. I'm not a car. So I giggled at that. Wendy's was next. I like the idea of the birds of paradise, but yes, it looked like a dress.
I loved the colors of it. Like, it was so bright and vibrant, but she didn't finish it. Like, without bottoms, it's unwearable.
Yeah. So I liked her concept was there, but it failed.
Yeah.
It was a flop. Kara-san was simple. I really liked the cover up. I would wear that.
I liked the cover, but the swimsuit itself was just, it was a basic bikini. I think if she hadn't had immunity this week, she would have been on the bottom, because that's all it was. It was just a white bikini.
I agree. Alexandra, so boring. What is happening to my girl?
I liked the fabric she chose, but like Kara-san's, it was just a bikini. It was a very, very teeny tiny bikini.
I was just saying, the only thing I liked about it was very Miami.
I didn't understand how hers was supposed to, I mean, at least Kara-san's kind of had the cover, but Alexandra's, there was no way to turn that into a party look.
No, it was just like a sheet around the butt, right?
Yeah, it was just a woman in a teeny tiny string bikini walking through a party.
I know, I feel bad for that model, but get paid.
I hope so. Jay.
Okay, Jay. I thought it was fun. I could totally see like a music artist wearing that on stage performing.
Yeah, it was all right. I can't imagine attempting to put it on. Like, watching them struggle to put it on, it had to have taken like an hour.
Britney Spears wore something very similar to that during the femme fatale era.
Of course she did, because she's Britney.
Yeah. Very strappy.
It was very impractical.
I see swimsuits like that. Go on like websites like She's In. You'll be like, would wear that?
When it's just like a pile of straps, like, wait, where does your arm go?
Sometimes beauty is pain, and people would rather look sexy than be comfortable.
Which is why Heidi said she would have worn that one.
Yeah. And she would have looked incredible in it.
She would have. I started to write, there's no way she would spend that much time putting it on. And then I was like, no, she would.
Yeah.
Just for the final look, she would spend the hours it took trying to figure out how to twist it around her.
Yeah, her assistant would do it, or her stylist.
She still have to stand there with her arms out.
Have you seen the effort she puts into Halloween?
Yeah. Did you see her Jessica Rabbit costume? It was so good.
Yeah. Okay, so I wrote down Kara-san's the only one that's safe. Do you think she's the only one safe because they're at the final 6?
Well, because she had immunity, so.
Or is it because she had immunity?
I think she was safe because she had immunity. I think she would have been bottom otherwise.
Do you think everyone would have just been like, they would have been no, like, you're safe?
I'm inclined to think, I don't know.
Yeah, I wrote everyone is disappointed.
What do you mean?
All the judges were like pretty disappointed. They were impressed really with 2.
No, the top was Austin, Robert, and Jay. And the bottom was Alexandra, Kevin, and Wendy. That's how I took it.
I don't know. Did you take notes on what they said other than a sports car?
I mean, they said that he was really confident and he sold it. They said, oh, he had, or what was it? Richard Johnson said, oh, I was really impressed with how confident he was. He had a lot of self-confidence, and he was the one that was deciding this one. That's why I assumed he was a top. Because even though the women judges didn't like him, Richard Johnson liked him.
Yeah, and that's true. Yeah, and It was kind of funny how he basically compared Jay and Austin together because they're both very flamboyant and crazy, but like Austin seems more professional.
Well, Jay was so irritated at Austin because he said he was acting fake. And he's like, at least even if I don't win, I'll know I didn't act fake for it. But then when they're finding out the winner, he acts super fake and congratulates Austin.
Honestly, that seems like Austin though.
Spoiler.
I didn't see anything fake about how he was acting.
Yeah, no, I think it was just him being him. But because Jay wouldn't have acted that way, it must be fake.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's older? They're like the same age, aren't they?
I'm not sure. All this talk of the models' ages, I don't think I've looked up how old any of the designers.
I think I wrote it down. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I wrote all their ages down because I used the same notepad.
I did note that Jesus J was back at the L party and was more successful here, as he commented, than last time he brought him out.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. Oh, Jay's much older. Not by a ton, but he's 29 and Austin is 22. I'm kind of surprised by that. All right, so I was kind of surprised Alexandra was out, but to be honest, even though I love Alexandra, I'm still more curious to see what Kevin produces.
Yeah. I liked Kevin's suit better than Alexandra's. I think Robert probably deserved going out more, but Richard Johnson.
Yeah, but sometimes they think about the overall thing. Sometimes like, oh.
I did note early on in the episode, Alexandra is quoted as saying, I think the three strongest designers are her, Austin, and Karasan. And this was before knowing that she was getting out. I was like, what world is she living in? Because I don't think she has won any challenges, has she?
Mm-mm.
And Austin was bottom for the last several.
I think I'm talking about maybe sewing skills.
Maybe. But
creativity.
I should have realized she was going to go out when they had a clip of her saying she thought she was one of the strongest designers.
Yeah. When I saw she was a bottom, I was like, she's out. She's bye. No, but I think they think sometimes too overall, like, I like Alexandra's look, but has she sort of already shown everything that she can do? Because all her looks kind of started to look the same.
She did stick to Art Deco for a while there.
Yeah, and I just feel like I'm just more curious to see what Kevin produces. So yeah, Kevin is out.
Alexandra's out. Kevin's still in.
Oh wait, sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. And then so they had to wait to the next day to see who won. They had to wake up at the butt crack of dawn and walk to the convenience store to get a New York Post.
It was going to be between Jay and Austin.
Mm-hmm. And drum roll. Good one. Because his model was 16 with a cute butt. So.
You know that's why he won. It's so gross.
I know. I think the combination of his personality and the fact that his model was so attractive is so disgusting. So I looked at what Alexandra has been up to since the show. She's been pretty successful.
She has.
Yeah, she's been consistently designing. Her last collection was fall winter 2010 or 2018. Who knows if COVID affected her next one?
Well, yeah, I think spring was canceled last year, or mostly canceled. So
and yeah, she had some of her designs in Gossip Girl.
Oh, I didn't see that. I saw that according to her site, she's designed for Naomi Watts, Zoe Saldana, Faith Hill, Zoe Deschanel, and Kobe Smulders.
Yeah,
among others. I didn't know who the others were.
Yeah, she seems pretty successful. She had some of her pieces in. Oh, I'm blanking on the name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it's like a prestige thing to have your outfits displayed.
Oh yeah, I don't know. And I thought it was a little weird on her site. She called herself a finalist on Project Runway. I don't think she's a finalist.
Was she in the All Stars? Maybe, and she made it.
I guess maybe she comes back. I don't know.
I don't remember. I only kind of recall Austin being in the All-Stars first season. I mean, we're going to get there eventually, so we'll find out. I mean, I should probably save this for next episode, but I have a feeling Morgan's going to be eliminated. And do you want to know what she's been up to?
I've tried to find out what she's been up to. Did you find something?
Oh, yeah.
Her Facebook hadn't been updated in like 2 years. I looked.
She was a successful model here and there. I think she got made on the cover of Harper's Bazaar, even though I couldn't find it. But in 2013, 2014, she was charged with a false police report. Like they were like, she said she was robbed, she was being mugged, and the police straight up didn't believe her. And so they arrested her and charged her for making a false police report.
Yeah, that sounds like Morgan.
And it took over a year for the DA to finally drop the charges and be like, okay, yeah, you're telling the truth. But it like the DA is quoted for saying that Quinn is prone to weepy outbursts on the stand. Some things never change.
For real.
All over the New York Post. I found like 3 articles about it.
Oh, wow. I have more behind the scenes.
Oh, okay.
So, from what I could find, contestants aren't allowed any TV, internet access, or music, even back at the apartment.
But they're allowed music in the workroom.
Are they? It said, well, maybe it changes season by season, but
no, I know there's music.
I think I said no music.
Remember I made a comment about the big ass compact disc player that Jay was listening to? I know.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they're allowed on her belt.
Maybe they're allowed CDs and they're not allowed radio.
Yeah, I bet they're allowed CDs because they can't hear any kind of news things, and they probably allow them to have them like Project Runways, like the rare excuses, because so they can draw out other people.
Maybe.
I don't know, but yeah, no TV or like newspapers and some top model lets them have magazines, but that's all I've ever seen.
They don't let them have more than that because in a year or two, when we get around to season 16, spoiler warning, Claire Butendorp gets eliminated for cheating after they find a tape measure in the apartment. She wasn't allowed a tape measure or any fashion books, even fashion history. They're not allowed to have with them.
That's crazy. Don't they want them to like study on their off time?
Nope. They said they don't want them to be inspired by any outdoor, like out. They have to all be inspired by their own ideas.
That makes sense. In Top Model, I remember them saying that they were allowed magazines for inspiration, like to learn how to pose. And then they're allowed like a book. They're allowed to take like a book with them. But they also don't want them to have any of that stuff because they don't want them to actually mention it on camera to date the episode.
Oh, yeah.
And they also don't want them to be distracted by anything. So all they can do for entertainment is to talk to one another.
Well, yeah, I guess that starts fights and makes a better show.
And I think somewhere too that they have to like, I said something on BuzzFeed today was about reality TV show. And a lot of reality TV shows will make them like stay up all night, but like wake up at like 6 a.m. So they're like sleep deprived and fight.
I didn't write that down, but that is one of the things I found, which I figured was obvious for the show, is that they do, like they are allowed to work till like midnight, and then they do the diary room videos until like 1 or 2 a.m. And then they have to get up at like 5:30 or 6 the next morning to start all over.
Oh my God.
So that's how Project Runway goes.
How do people not like snap?
That's why one of the reasons they do it though is because people snap and then you see the drama in the workroom.
That's probably why Nora snapped.
Probably just lack of sleep. I have quotes from a couple previous contestants. Jack McEnroth from season 4 says, "The judging is totally fake. They basically decide who they want to eliminate and edit the footage to make the viewer agree." Which I think is obvious because we've already talked about Austin should have already gotten out. So that's not shocking. Season 7's Jonathan Peters told Entertainment Weekly that there were certain words he was informed were not to be used in front of the camera. The example he gave that upset producers was he called Project Runway a game show.
I can't remember hearing about that.
Oh, and then after they leave, Bert Keeter season 9 says after contestants are not voted out, eliminated, they don't let you go home. They basically keep you sequestered. You're all travel in a pack, even if you're the first person voted off. You're there 5 or 6 weeks. They separate you. You go down to the basement and stay down there for 12 to 14 hours. So the people who watch the show can't tell who's off the show.
Yeah.
So Alexandra is now, at least in the future.
I don't think they did it. I don't think they did it in the first season because nobody was really paying attention.
Maybe.
But once social media became more and more prevalent, they have to do it. Because if you just walk into the coffee shop, someone could take your picture and be like, you're out. You got eliminated.
Yeah.
This is the math.
Can you imagine how much that would suck, though? You get eliminated first, and then you just have to spend weeks sitting in a basement every day while everyone else is competing. Still without internet or TV.
I think they're allowed internet and TV.
They're not allowed to talk to anyone. They all have non-disclosure agreements.
Yeah. And then also too, I think the top 4 all make, or the top 5 make collections, but you only see 3 of them.
It said up to 10 designers show at New York Fashion Week. So it probably depends on the season, but up to 10 of them can end up showing.
Wow. Could you imagine? People still get to see your work.
Yeah, it also said that it's not a good way to break into the fashion industry, as very few of the designers have gone on to be like a Christian Siriano.
Yeah, but that was his personality basically got him there, and his talent, both a combination. Dude, that's crazy. Can you imagine doing all that work and not even be able to win the prize?
I mean, well, there was 12 this season. 11 of them aren't going to win.
That's so insane to me. Because I remember watching later seasons and some of the final 3 are like, oh, I quit my job so I can do this full time. So I hope I win.
Well, they'd have to if they're gone for 5 or 6 weeks. How many jobs are going to be like, okay, that's fine. Go be a fashion designer for a couple months and then we'll have a spot for you when you get back.
That's true. I think some places keep, I don't know. We need to interview somebody. Somebody come on our show.
Somebody listen to our show first.
I know. How many listens do we have? Jimmy was asking me.
How many? I think we've had 10 listens total over all the episodes. Last I looked.
You know, it would be a funny segment.
What?
We should interview your dad and oh, that's what we should do for the final episode as a bonus. We should show your dad all the collections and the looks and see what he says to all of them.
That wouldn't work.
Okay, we'll find somebody and we'll do that. You could do my niece or something.
There you go.
Yeah, because she won't say anything offensive.
My dad just would not be interested. He'd be like, I'm not doing this. He listened to half of our first episode and went, can I turn this off? It's really boring.
I need to start listening to ours, but it's hard to listen to your own voice.
I have to edit them. I have no choice.
I
do minimal editing. Most of it, like this, is probably going to get left in.
Yeah, no one's listening to us anyways. No, I just can't stand my laugh. I thought I had a cute laugh until I was like, oh God.
You do have a cute laugh. You've got a giggle.
Oh God. All right, well.
Shall we conclude?
We should conclude.
This has been another episode of Blood Orange. We are so pretentious. You can hear us on most podcast platforms. If anyone out there is actually listening, you can find us on social media at Blood Orange Wasp. We'll be back next week with episode 7.
Listen to us, please.